Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things, and on this Sunday Stuff and Things, we have stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things you can look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. We're going to talk about a weird thing that was going on with me with Amazon lately. I'm curious to know if any of you have had this experience as well. Just a bizarre kind of breach of privacy, I would say, or they're trying to do a breach of privacy. And then I want to talk about stories you learn about your neighborhood or your city by taking photographs in your neighborhood, in your city, in the same place all the time. There have been some interesting things that I've noticed just going to the same places, paying attention, taking photographs, and then having these records of things that you've seen, people you've seen, things you've experienced, and then being able to kind of see this narrative going on throughout time, throughout the seasons, as you keep taking pictures of these same places and keep seeing a lot of the same people. I don't know, it's kind of fascinating to me. Makes me feel more connected with my town and with my community. We're gonna go into hashtag askstuffandthings, where you can ask your questions, leave your comments, and I will answer them. And then of course, we will end the show as usual with our Patreon shout outs and updates. Let's get into it. Do I need my reading glasses? Nah, I think I'm fine. Okay, so what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon? Well, this coming week, we will talk about, on YouTube, premiering Monday early and ad-free on Patreon, Wednesday on YouTube, Leica M4. My Leica M4 is perfect, except every once in a while I would get intermittent light scratches on my negatives, and I went through a process of trying to diagnose the cause of that, and we did a video on it, and you can see whether or not I was able to solve that issue. Interesting stuff for any of you who have a Leica M camera as well. Next, on next week, on Monday, Patreon exclusive video. It won't be showing up on YouTube because YouTube doesn't like this stuff. We will have the Esoterica Brighton full review. We did the first impressions video last week. You should check that out on Patreon if you are a Patreon supporter and haven't seen it yet. And then this coming week, not this next video, but the video after, will be the Esoterica Brighton full review. A very interesting sort of, an aromatic blend. It's an aromatic blend from Esoterica. And then after that, you will see I have this picture up on my monitor right now. This is a cute little dog named Abby. But I did a video just now about, I think I've forgotten how to take color film photos, because I've been exclusively shooting black and white on my film cameras for over a year. Hadn't done any color at all for at least a year and a half. And so I shot a roll of Portra 800 and wasn't very happy with any of the results. So did a video on that. I think that's interesting. So yeah, lots of good stuff coming up on Stuff and Things YouTube and Stuff and Things Patreon. Stay tuned for more and more and more. I will never run out of things to blather about. Little Abby, the Chihuahua Border Collie mix. Very cute. Okay, so a weird thing has happened to me recently on Amazon, and I'm curious to know if this has happened to anybody else. I tried to look at a few forums and search online and didn't find too much evidence of this, but I have been purchasing things from Amazon since 2010. I think, at least on this account. I'm sure I bought things even before that. But on my current Amazon account, I can go back to a purchase history all the way back to 2010. Now, I don't love Amazon. Amazon is kind of creepy. They are way too big. They do really creepy things, but they are convenient, and sometimes convenience trumps creepiness. So there are things that I will purchase on Amazon. A lot of times Amazon isn't any cheaper than other places, and if that's the case and I can get something cheaper somewhere else, I will often do that. The big thing is that I do pay for Prime for the free shipping. I try not to abuse that where, you know, I'm purchasing 1,000 different things in different orders, so I'm getting all this packaging all the time. Like, I try to consolidate things. I try to be somewhat responsible, but you know, it's a losing battle. Anyway, I've been purchasing things on Amazon, and there are things like toiletries and stuff, things that I can't get locally or things that are cheaper on Amazon that I get, you know, kind of as a recurring order. And recently I was putting in one of those orders. I was trying to get some bathroom products for my morning ablutions, things that I've purchased a million times before. I made the order, and then immediately I got an email that said, your order has been canceled. We've noticed suspicious activity on your account. If you want to continue with this order, you will have to give us a picture of your ID. You will have to prove your identity. And I clicked on the link to see what was going on, and it said they wanted a picture of the front of my driver's license and the back of my driver's license in order to prove my identity because of suspicious activity that was going on my account. It's like, suspicious activity. I buy kind of the same things all the time. It's similar things that I get on Amazon. It's usually at a fairly similar interval. What is suspicious about this? I thought, okay, maybe it's because I use a VPN just for privacy reasons, but I've always used a VPN. It's been years since I've been using a VPN, so why would that make any difference? But I tried that. I turned off the VPN, tried to make the purchase, came back, and said, no way. And then I looked and saw that one of the things I was trying to buy was from a third-party seller. So I X'd that out of the order and just was getting things from Amazon, and that went through. So I thought, okay, it has something to do with third-party sellers. And then I thought, well, maybe now that it went through, it'll be fine. And so, you know, this is a few weeks ago. I had to get something else from Amazon the other week. I did that. It was a new work hat for the son. That was fine. That was through Amazon, no issues. And then just the other day, I tried again to purchase a few things. I think one of the things was from a third-party seller, put in the order, and immediately got the email again saying, we've noticed suspicious activity on your account. You have to prove your identity. So what the hell's going on here? I would love it if I never had to purchase anything from Amazon ever again, but I kind of have to. That's kind of the world we live in now. There are some alternatives to some things, but not for everything that you have to be able to purchase on Amazon sometimes. And again, I pay for Prime. I've been a customer forever. I pay for Prime. Why is this happening? I really don't want to send Amazon a picture of my ID. And so I kind of putzed around looking in forums, trying to see if there was any solution to this. Couldn't really find anything. And so I thought, okay, they want to see my ID. They already know my address. They know my name. I don't want them to know my driver's license number because that's just weird. Why should they know that? I don't want them to have the barcode on the back of my ID. And so when it asked me to take a picture, I blocked out my driver's license number on the front of my ID and any other information I didn't want them to have. They could have my address and my name. I think I got rid of my date of birth as well. And then I turned it over because they said they wanted the back of the card, and I blocked out the barcode. And I thought, this probably isn't going to work because they probably won't like this. Several days went by, and I finally got an email that said, thanks for confirming your identity. Your account should be fine now. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know why it was okay. I'm assuming they wanted this information, and if they wanted the information, they wanted all of the information. So me blocking out bits of my identity or my ID card, I figured wouldn't work, but it did. So what was the point? They already knew my name and address. So what's going on here? Have any of you experienced this? It's bizarre. It is weird. Let me know in the comments below. But now, gang, stories you learn through taking photographs every day in your city or in the same place, or I don't know, I need to think of a more pithy title for this. But as you know, every day that I'm able, depending on when I get off work and you know what time of year it is, if it's dark by 3:30 like it is in the winter, sometimes I'm not able to get out during the day, but anytime I can, I go out with my camera and take pictures. I don't always take pictures, but I'm trying to take pictures. There may be nothing that I find to actually take a picture of in a day, but I always go out with my camera and I roam around trying to take pictures. And this has been over 2 years, 2.5 years since I've been doing this, where I always have a camera with me to take photographs. And in that time, I have noticed some interesting little narratives that have played out in front of me. And I'm curious to know if any of you are people who go out. I don't know if any of you are as obsessive as me about going out and taking pictures, but if you've had similar experiences, again, let me know in the comments below. But I have really noticed this weird continuity and these weird little narratives, little stories that I'm seeing, things that I never would have noticed if I weren't going around taking pictures. And often, because as I'm editing, going through my pictures, I will see the same people, I will see the same places, I'll see things changing throughout the seasons, throughout the photographs that I'm taking. One weird little example that I was thinking of right off the bat is there was a period where there was a mannequin head. It was like, it looked like the kind of thing that would be maybe in a, I don't know, like what do they call that? A hair school? Where do you learn how to be a hairstylist? A beauty school? I don't know, something like that. Kind of this like 80s looking mannequin woman. She was bald, so she had no hair on. And this mannequin head was kind of floating around amongst several of the homeless areas in town. And I just kept seeing it, but it was changing hands. And I found it so fascinating. I actually got a couple pictures of it in 2 different locations. But it was just this weird thing that I started paying attention to. Like, oh, there's the mannequin head. Why would I notice that if I hadn't ever taken a picture of it? I probably wouldn't have. And why would I be walking around these areas over and over again if I weren't there to take pictures? I probably wouldn't. So it's just, I guess it's not important. Who cares about the mannequin head? But it's something I never would have seen if I hadn't been out there taking pictures. Another thing is just local businesses that you see rise and fall. And that's kind of a constant churn in Bellingham. It seems like people are always opening restaurants and cafes and things, and they usually don't last very long around here. It's like this constant turnover of these businesses. And you will see this. You'll see like, okay, remodeling. You'll see the brown paper covering the windows as people are working on the space. You see it come off. You'll see the people starting to move in. You see, I'll actually interact with some of the people as they're starting the business, and then may even drop in. And then you will see the slow decline until eventually the business is gone. And I might notice this, you know, if I were just going downtown or whatever to go pick something up or going shopping or doing whatever, I might say, oh, what happened to that cafe that I saw before? But now I'm there all the time and I'm seeing this in real time and just seeing this progression. Thing that happened recently that I thought was really weird is there was a picture I took, it's probably been almost a year now, maybe it was like last September or something. There was a picture that I thought was fun and interesting where a kid had put his face on a flyer saying, you know, with his gamer tag or whatever, contact me to play Roblox and Fortnite. And I just thought that was an interesting evocation of our time. Like somebody's trying to meet people. They're using a physical flyer to meet people in a virtual space to play video games online. And I took that picture, I liked it. I think it's even on my website. It's one of the pictures that I actually enjoy quite a bit. And then a couple months back, I was in a local cafe and I took a picture of, I couldn't really tell what it was because it was very dim. In this hallway where there was a bulletin board, I took a picture. In fact, I've got it here somewhere. I will put it on screen because this was one of the color pictures that I just got back. And it is a missing person poster. And I have blacked out the name and the phone number here in the picture. But I didn't realize it was a missing person poster until I got the film back and I saw it developed. But this is the same kid who was on the Fortnite flyer. And it's his Hispanic name, weight 215, height 6'7". So this is a very big kid. Last seen in Linden, which is a town a little north of Bellingham. And I don't know, that's just a crazy narrative. I hope this kid's okay. I actually looked up his name. I could not find any actual official information about a missing persons report or anything like that. So maybe this was like a short-lived thing where he was freaked out his parents and he was gone for a little bit and now he's back and it's fine. I hope. But just, I never would have noticed this unless I had taken these two pictures, one of his Fortnite Roblox flyer, and then here the flyer of him as a missing person. It's just fascinating. I don't know, it just makes me feel so much more connected to my community, to the environment I live in. I see people all the time. People see me all the time. They probably wonder what the hell I'm doing all the time. But I don't know, I just feel so much more connected. I still don't really interact with, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of like social interactions or anything. I have, you know, surface interactions with people. Hey, how you doing? How's it going? Yeah, you know, that kind of thing. But it makes me feel just so much more a part of everything going on around me. And I'm noticing things, I'm paying attention to things, and I'm part of things. And that's one of the things I really love about going out and taking pictures every day. But now, gang, it is time for hashtag Ask Stuff and Things. Remember, if you have a question for me and you would like it answered on the Sunday Stuff and Things, you can tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag Ask Stuff and Things, but you probably shouldn't because nobody does, and I never read Twitter/X anyway. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can write to me via Patreon, go right to the front of the line. If you hit that super thanks button under this video, I think it's still under the video, you can go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback in the comment section of my YouTube videos. First, we have some feedback from last week's Sunday Stuff and Things. This is via Patreon, and our good friend and Patreon supporter, Gareth Hampton, who says, random accidents among the mundane. I like them. I find random subjects that seem to be out of place interesting. So I was talking about how I've been kind of reassessing my criticism of some of the William Eggleston pictures in his book, William Eggleston's Guide. And Gareth is going on with that. I often find myself wanting to photograph things which aren't much more than limited areas of a scene, which show lines and textures highlighted by light and shadows. I see that stuff and ask myself, what would that look like in black and white? Sometimes I take a photo to answer that question. Other times I just ask the question and let it go, knowing that a photo probably wouldn't be all that interesting. Lack of reasonable composition, etc. etc. Yes, and I agree with you where a lot of, when I'm seeing a little still life in front of me, something that I might want to photograph, it is just, what's that going to look like when I take a picture of it? I know what it looks like right now, I'm looking at it, but what will it look like as a picture? Because when you're taking a black and white, especially film photo, it doesn't look like reality. It looks like it's in black and white and it's on film. It looks like a heightened, more interesting reality, in my opinion. That's why I like black and white film. And so, yeah, I want to see what it will look like as a picture. And it's interesting because that's pretty much an exact quote that I think Gary Winogrand gave once. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something like, I take photographs of things because I want to see what that looks like as a photograph. And that's kind of how I feel too. At Benjamin, or not at, this is via Patreon as well, a Patreon supporter, Benjamin J. Burnveit. I shoot black and white and find a red filter often brings out dramatic effects of light and shadows. Ansel Adams is a favorite of mine. Beautiful scenery in Yosemite National Park. Your shot of Star Tobacco has appeal. I would love to see the building and the history of that place. I have used an orange filter occasionally. It does similar things to what the red filter does, just maybe slightly less. And I do like it for skies and some of the highlights and everything in pictures, but I'm typically not taking landscapes, and that's where I would use it more often. I find that it makes skin tone look kind of weird, so I usually don't use that. But yeah, Ansel Adams used filters, a lot when he was doing his work. If you have kind of a featureless sky, it can bring some more detail into that sky. Good stuff. Ultra Classic 01 HD said via YouTube, time is consistently moving. I was going to say constantly. Time is infinite and we are going from the past to the future without really stopping in the present. Yeah. A photograph as a way of stopping time between the past and the future. That's an interesting way to look at it. It's another thing that I think about when taking a photograph is that the photograph doesn't really tell you anything. And that may seem counterintuitive, like you can see, oh, there's a person standing there doing such and such. I can see this in the picture, but you don't know the context. You don't have the before and the after. And so a good example is somebody jumping up in the air. The picture might freeze them when they're in the air, but you don't know if they were jumping up or jumping down or falling down. you don't know what's actually going on. You can make up a story based on what you see in the picture, but I like what you're saying there, where it's freezing time between the past and the future, but the fact that it freezes time takes away the context of it. I don't know, interesting. And then @LedgerandLay says, I really like your boring photography. I think it's interesting. Musician Brigid Kalin does music theory analysis for non-musicians of why the brain thinks something sounds good. I think there must be something similar for a visual medium. For your photos, I think one thing is that it tells a story or it's asking a question. How did those shoes get there? Why is that giant boulder in the alley? I also think that you're showing different textures, but also movement and flow, like the rebar sculpture on the beach. I think the torn down ivy between the two trees is so cool. I think it boils down to seeing beauty and curiosity in ordinary things. Thank you so much. That was a great comment, and I appreciate your perspective. @Tattooed1 says, I salute you, brother, for at least making the attempt. So he's talking about me trying to listen to some Aerosmith. I've always loathed Aerosmith. I will hold a scintilla of hope for you. I dig your pics, and I think that is what makes photography so fascinating. Your eye and brain see things that just catch you, and you capture your moment. You hope that others will like it, but if they don't, you do. That is what matters. Keep on doing you. Exactly. I'm not taking pictures because I think, oh, this would be a picture that will appeal to people. I take pictures because I am compelled to take the picture. Whether or not anyone else likes it, doesn't really matter. @CharlieWoot says, read the books. This is really for the viewer you mentioned, regardless of how nice of an edition. Oh yeah, so we were talking about, I got the Folio Society edition of The Lord of the Rings, a very nice used copy for a reasonable price. Ooh, beautiful. And I am reading The Fellowship of the Ring right now. It is a beautiful copy of a fun book. Is this showing up? I love the binding and the cover. It is gorgeous. It smells very good too. So anyway, there was a debate as to whether or not you should read fancy books, and I'm not going to tell anyone what they should do. If you want to buy a book that's fancy and just look at it, that's fine too. I'm someone who will read something if I buy it because I'm not a collector in any way, really. If I'm buying something, it has to be somewhat functional. I'm trying to look around and see if I have anything that's absolutely not functional. I've got this. This is not functional at all. This is Little Buddy, a small fry from Splatoon 3, because it's a game I enjoyed, and I thought this weird little creature was amusing, so I bought this. I don't do anything with it. I don't sleep with it. I don't know, it's just there. But so sometimes I buy things that are just for being there, but typically no. Anyway, read the books. Regardless of how nice of an edition, I get keeping them nice, but it always seems sad when something is produced only to be set aside because we are afraid of damaging it. I don't know why that concept makes me sad, but it does. It's like seeing high-end musical instruments that never leave their case. Oh, and the new Doom films are outstanding. I can't wait for Messiah. Yeah, like I said, I really liked the films and the production design. I just really hated what they did to Chani's character. It annoyed me. Anyway, thanks for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in. It really helps make the show go. Now, it said I only had 15 minutes to record when I started recording, but I've been recording for over 25 minutes. I don't know. Maybe we're pressing our luck, but now, gang, it's time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support Stuff and Things on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It helps pay for these lights that are shining upon me, the fancy camera that is filming this video now. Because I don't really make money on YouTube at all anymore, your support on Patreon is what keeps all of this going. If you like any of the videos that I post on YouTube, $5 a month gets you access to early ad-free versions of those videos on Patreon, and you'll be supporting the content you like. If you liked the old pipe blend reviews and such that used to be on YouTube that no longer can be on YouTube, those are on Patreon now too. Again, $5 a month gets you in, gets you access to all the new pipe stuff I post there, and then the archive of old pipe reviews. Anyway, every week we shout out those who support Stuff and Things at $25 or more a month. The producers of Stuff and Things. People like Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, The Friendly Piper, GreatGrol. Glenn, just Glenn. David Severin. Nicholas James. Kyle Whitmore. Mr. Gibson. Chris Caughey. Ted Stryker. And GandalfTheGrey. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support Stuff and Things at $100 a month. People like the stolid and dependable Bob Magee. And we'll never forget our dearly departed friend and Hall of Fame member, Peter Straub. Gang, what can you look forward to exclusively on Patreon this week? Well, not exclusively, because this is going to be the Leica M4 scratches solved video. That will be early ad-free on Monday this week on Patreon, but then on Thursday exclusive will be from the archives, McClelland Blackwoods Flake. I don't really remember anything about that blend. I usually didn't love McClelland blends very much. This review was from September 27th of 2017. I remember the name. I don't remember the blend. Maybe some of you do, and I will refresh myself now because this video will be posting on Patreon. A review from the archive from September 27th, 2017. Anyway, gang, stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, but until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday. Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.